So, Aaron.
Yes.
Welcome to the very first ever London Give It a Nudge show. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel being the first ever guest on our London show?
Well, I mean, I've seen the other episodes, so it's good that you're only here for a couple of days, so we can try and get something in. But good to speak with you for sure.
And look at the view. Here we are, just to prove to everyone, we've superimposed Big Ben onto the screen at the back. Good to go. All right, well, let's start with what everyone wants to hear. Let's talk about your business. Now, I don't know anything about your business.
Okay.
Which is going to be super exciting for me. So,
Yeah.
Let's just give us a sort of quick synopsis. Tell us what it does first. Just tell us a little bit about what it does.
So the app is designed to connect active, real-time customers to the hospitality industry, mainly bars, clubs, and restaurants.
Right.
So, in the same way that Uber connects you to a driver,
Yep.
we are basically connecting hungry people, or people that want a drink or go out or go anywhere, to a venue.
Okay. So, is it like a location-based, or explain that a bit more to me? Because obviously you can go onto your browser and look up
100%.
area. How does it differ?
Yeah, 100%. So there's obviously, as you know, Google, other load of booking apps that have all this hospitality and all these venues on there, right?
Yeah.
But it's those last-minute cancellations. Okay. It's the real-time availability that we don't see, and it's also that factor of people right now with Uber and Amazon and these other apps is I want what I want when I want it.
Yeah.
And at the moment we didn't feel that demand was fulfilled. So really what we started to do is look at where can we cut the fat in this process and create an app that actually does fulfill that. So you can be like, I need 4 of us, want a cocktail bar for 7 o'clock today, and someone's going to pick it up and go, yep, we've got you, done.
So, and it's the same with restaurants. So, like, for example, people cancel restaurants. You can ring and there's no bookings, and then 10 minutes later someone will cancel. This is total real time.
100%. And this is the thing is, there's such a part of what we didn't realise. I mean, I'm not from hospitality. I've spent 10 years in finance and banking, so...
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I naturally go into hospitality. But it came around because, obviously, I was out with clients a lot, and you're always in the city, and you're always that culture of, should we go for a drink tonight, should we go out? And it is quite a spontaneous thing. Yeah. And it always happens where, you go up to a city for your friend's birthday, and then, okay, where next, what do we do? And there's always that underlying issue. Yeah. And obviously, COVID changed everyone's mindset in a way, it sort of reset everything. And I don't think there was a need for it before until it came out. The same way by like Uber and Amazon, no one thought that you needed stuff the same day online, or you travel anywhere that you need to, you always need to book a driver home. You can actually just order it. So the demand's there, the demand's changed, the mindset's changed. So that's where I think the business came about, and how the idea came around was a friend of mine, we came back from whatever lockdown it was, back to the office, and he said, let's book a table for 8 of us tonight. And I drew the short store, so I had to go and find one. So I was on all the conventional booking sites, going on Google trying to call people. It was about 4:30 in the afternoon. And about 25 minutes went by, and I thought, this can't be this difficult to say 8 of us need to go, want to go out, and all these businesses that have had nothing for 2 years can't see that.
Yeah.
So I just said out loud to one of my co-founders, why can't we just say 8 of us need this now and broadcast it out and someone can see that? And he went, that's a good idea. I went, yeah, but whatever, let's just go out. But then we started talking about it over the weekend and looked more into it and grew it more, and then had another co-founder join, and then it kind of started evolving from that. So the idea was not an idea to start with, but we kept building on it and getting validation and getting people that said, what, if you could do this and execute it, we'd be interested. And that's sort of how it continued to go. But it's such a simple business.
How do you... So I understand, like with Uber, you've got a system. You've got Uber drivers. They're all on your app as Uber, right? And then you've got people on the app. You have to go and get venues on your app. So it's the same thing.
Yeah. So I live in Southend, which is a small town in Essex.
Yeah.
Probably some people in London will know it. Definitely all your people won't know it.
I know. I was there once.
Really?
Woke up there. Another story.
Yeah. You can. Yeah. You can do Southend in a day. So there's not. It's an all right place, but it's a long way from where I was working. It's a real commute to London.
An hour or so?
Well, I was in West London, so it took me just over 2 hours to get to work. Yeah. 2 hours there, 2 hours back. That's on a good day. Yeah. So, I mean, I enjoyed my old job before. I had great people. It was a great job. And I sort of got to this stage in it where I was like, okay, I can do more and I need more. And there's always this part of me to do something like this, but this isn't my first business idea. I've had online stuff and failed miserably and tried different things, and one thing works and that's how it goes. But and this is it's a startup, so we're still trying to see if it works. Yeah. But it's an interesting world to be in. And
how did you get the venues? Because there's literally. I mean,
there's there's 1,200 venues on there now.
There's 1,200 venues. That's a lot of venues.
There's 1,200 venues. There's about 15,000 in London. Probably about 6,000 very good ones.
Yeah.
That are all part of like a review system, or like the other booking apps are like a Google, but for the restaurants. So you just it's that Netflix paradox of scrolling. But basically, what I did was we joined a tech incubator called Hyper.
Yep.
I approached them. Then got talking. It's like a selection process because they only sort of take on ideas that work. When we first spoke to them, they were like, "Oh, not another hospitality app," and we went, "No, but ours is different, like everyone said. But then we went through the process, and the guys are great there, and we sort of like mapped out this business, and then we got a prototype, which is like an app, but 10 slides of an app. So, just to show the functionality. So then what I did was commute into work. So I get up at 5 a.m, get into the office for 7:30, 8, work till 5:30, 6, and because I'm in West London, get my backpack on with an iPad and start walking around to restaurants trying to...
You did it?
Yeah. Well, because they're not going to answer an email, and if you call a restaurant owner, he's like, "Do not sell me anything." I've been a cold caller for 10 years, so I just did it for something that I wanted to sell. And...
that's proper startup stuff. That is like literally
back,
pounding the streets,
100%,
knocking on the door.
And honestly, Steve, it was.
Was it hard?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, before we even really went forward with the idea, we got the ethos. We got the what are we trying to solve? Like, what is the actual core of our business? Yeah. What do we want to give to restaurants? Because we're not from that. So what I did was, I cold called a big chain, someone high up in a big chain, a medium chain, and then a couple of independents. So I had a real range of the people we're going at. And I said, "This is my vision, this is the product that I want to do. How does it need to work? And if I deliver it, is it something you'd use?" And they all said, "Yeah, if you can do that." But no one's done that yet. And, it's a concept that needs to be proved. But on the premises, it sounds good. So then we went to Hyper, built it, raised some seed money from our chairman. And then literally, boots to the ground, I signed up 150 restaurants in about 2 months.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I was out.
When were you working till?
Well, I'd either stay,
That's a lot.
Genuinely, I would either get the last train home at 1 and then get up again at 5, so I was not having a lot of sleep, or I'd get a really crappy hotel room and just stay over, depending on how late I was working, because they all want to drink with you. If they like your idea, they're like, "Yeah, great, have a drink." So gin and tonic here. By the end of the night, I've had 15 gin and tonic. So
confidence levels went up there by the time you go in the line.
Yeah.
You've got this one.
Yeah. But by the last one, I didn't know what I was saying to them. So no, but it was good. But the point of that exercise is we had an idea that was so basic in its bare bones that these people are going, yes. And in what we found in the hospitality industry is everyone knows everyone. They're all kind of supportive of each other. It's not sort of dog eat dog out there. Like if someone's got a good idea, they want to pass it on. And so there's one person saying, "Look, this is great." You build relationship, and it is all relationship. Speak to my friends, and they just grew from there. And then obviously, raised money, got some more sales guys in, hit the ground, started building it, changed the branding, built that up, and what market are we trying to get at? What is the audience we want? And grew to 1,200 venues.
And so, in terms of...
In London, so it's good.
In terms of like the name.
Ambl.
Yeah. You just said you changed the brand. Where did it come from? I mean, I can't imagine you were ambling around. You're probably running around.
Yeah, no. Well, originally the bit... I don't even like the name anymore. I loved the name to start, and now I don't even like saying it. It's like... It was called...
You don't have to say it.
It was called Spontable before. Spontaneous Table.
Yeah, I get that.
So everyone got it straight away, and then we started talking to a branding agency, and well, it just rolls off the tongue, and at the moment, Ambl is the business. There's, it was an idea 8 months ago. There's now 12 of us in an office.
Yeah.
So it's growing quickly. But when it becomes a thing, we want it to be like, "You out tonight?" Well, we'll just Ambl it. It becomes like a verb. It becomes a name for a solution rather than just. No, it's a product name that can be replicated, and then that's how we need to set ourselves apart.
Okay, and so you're obviously just continuously signing up more and more venues now.
Yes and no, because we've got to this level of venues that is good,
Yeah.
more than we thought we would. But the guys have been hitting it hard, but they're inspired to do it and they're motivated to do it because the three of our founders are, as well. And it's a relatable business, right? So they love it because it's something they understand.
Consumer, basically.
100%. So we've got to this level of venues where it's now about nurturing them because the app's not out yet. It's coming out later this year. It's about nurturing them, making sure that they're ready for the processes. People might leave. The staffing industry in hospitality is tough right now, and we're learning this every day. So, it's just about, okay, we don't need, having 5,000 venues is a lovely headline, but 5,000 venues that then don't know us is not a thing. So if we get 1,000 venues and all the owners and people know us and we're having mixers and we're having relationship building with them, that when the app comes out, albeit, of course, there's bugs with new things, it's not going to stop them using us and supporting us. Because what will happen is when the app comes out and you've got a restaurant manager that knows us and knows what we're trying to do, and let's say something doesn't work. It's an app, right? Things fail all the time, as you know. It's not going to stop them going, well, you know what? It's okay. It's the first day, whatever. So we've kind of changed it now. We know we can get the venues. We know we've got great venues on, some stunning ones, and they're all sort of medium to premium. So it's not just anyone and everyone. There's a sort of a metric that we follow. Yeah. So now it's just about nurturing it and making sure that they're going to be ready to use us so that we can support the demands.
And do you think, and I hate asking this question, but I'm going to ask it, but do you, don't look nervous. Do you think...
Well, you started it pretty...
Do you think COVID has made them more open-minded to you approaching them, or do you think that wouldn't have made it anyway? I mean... Obviously, they've been through such a difficult few years. Up and down, staffing issues, all this kind of stuff. This is obviously... It's not a new concept, but it looks like you're the first people who've actually cracked on how you can actually make it work.
Yeah.
Do you think that if we hadn't had COVID and everything was booming, and do you think they would have been as open-minded? Or you might not...
We wouldn't have been about... We wouldn't have started.
You don't think?
No. Because it changed... We had the idea when it was sort of coming back where you couldn't go into places and everything was booking, so we hit that window of opportunity to speak to people and validate it. Now that you can go back everywhere, it's very hard to get hold of someone. And there has been... I mean, I'm very close with a lot of restaurant owners. They must get approached by about 50 apps a week.
Really?
Really? But I've not heard of 5% of them. That's crazy. But I don't know if they make it, right? So, it's but they're all trying to do the same thing. But when you get, and the only way to get a venue on board, so none of these venues, if we've called up, say, do you like the idea? Yeah, sign me up, sounds okay. We've gone into every single one.
That's probably the difference.
Sat with the owner because you can't email them, you can't call them, because they're not going to, you have to see it. And when we show them the back end and the front end, and even some of them have just signed up on the interface of the user side because they're like, hang on a minute, if your app does that, I just want it because I want the customers on. And we've attracted some fantastic people behind the business.
I think that's why. That grind of you wandering around, when you hear... And I hear lots, right? When you hear stories about how companies were built, a lot of them come off the back of not someone emailing 25,000 venues and
doesn't work.
500.
Doesn't work.
It comes off the back of getting your backpack, going and getting hammered with each restaurant owner. That's very time-consuming. It takes a lot of resilience is the wrong word, although it is resilience, but it's persistence and belief. Like
100%.
You're not going to do that unless you believe in it, right? Because you've been mental.
Categorically, and you need to be okay with people telling you to go away.
Yes, well,
and don't talk to me. It's fine. And I remember when our first night out, we went to 3 or 4 venues and we didn't know what to say or pitch. I mean, I've been selling finance products for 10 years, so I knew that, and I know how to speak to sort of high-level, C-level staff, but not restaurant owners and people that are, every day grinding it out.
And they're working when you're going.
They are working. Well, that's the thing. And I was going after work in their time. I mean, I remember walking into an Italian restaurant. And I was like, I can speak to the manager. And he said, what is it you're selling? He knew straight away. And I said, it's an app. And he went, looked around, there was half the restaurant for you. You're kidding me? So I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. So obviously, part of me is like, I can't wait to leave, work because I need to get out in the day, come back at 11 o'clock. Well, I'm working at 11. So it was trying to fit everything after. But I remember the first night we went out with my co-founder, Bobby, and we went to a few venues, didn't get to speak to anyone, and we were like, oh God, what do we do? We were just getting Google Maps up, going to places. I went into one place, it was our first sign-up, we walked in and he went, okay, yeah, that's really good, yeah, we'll have that. I was like, okay, great. And then we went to another, we were really happy, we went into another bar, and we asked for the manager, he's there, he came out and he went, yeah, guys, what do you want? I said, well, look, can I buy you a drink just for 5 minutes of your time? no one in the restaurant. So he was like, yeah, fine. Sat down, showed him the app, and he went, this is the best thing I've seen in 15 years of hospitality.
Jeez.
And we were looking at each other like, okay, how have 3 guys in sales just sort of done this? And then he WhatsApped it to like 100 people that he knows in like a
little group.
in like a restaurant group, and then like it is, everyone knows everyone. And
How cool's that?
yeah, it was good. It was great. But then we were like, okay, we actually are onto something. And then kept doing it every night, and it got addicting. I mean, I was in high pressured sales, and it was like a great feeling, earning good commission and money. But when someone tells you that your idea that you've been working on is a good idea, is
And they WhatsApp it to 100.
Oh,
You must have been like sitting there looking at your watch. When can I get out and see the restaurants? And after work, just been pumped to get out.
well, yeah. I mean, I've left now, but on my lunch break, I was on the phone trying to book meetings for that evening, or trying to.
All right, so that's half the story, right? Because you've got half of your marketplace. You've now got the other half to get. So you haven't
Consumers, no.
So, have you got a plan? Do you know how you're going to do that? Have you started to do that?
Yeah.
Are you pre-signing people up? Is there a website people can go on to?
Oh yeah, no. So
all that stuff.
So there's a website we're doing. We literally launched our website last week.
Yep.
So Ambl.co. There's a competition on there for up to £10,000 giveaway. So we're doing a £5,000 bar tab at one of our venues for like a company party and things like that. But my other co-founder Jed, who has a marketing background and a recruitment background, so he's good at the marketing. He's also very good at recruitment. So he's found a fantastic marketing team.
Yeah.
And because again, the business is at a sort of that mindset, that headspace, that tribeness in a way.
It's a cool phase.
Yeah, and the influencers and things like it, that they'll use it. So we've got this really good network and roadmap built out to bring users on. I just want to be able to control that with the venues, and it's just about getting it right. I don't want to come out the blocks and kill it before it starts. Let's get it right. Let's soft launch it. Let's get it going, and then grow from there. But the big part now is we've got the most amazing venue adoption team. That's what I've been building out.
Yeah.
And now it's just like getting the users on board.
The Urges would love this, right?
Well, my stepfather's sister is a PA, and she's been the PA for 30 years for big, high companies and people in high places. And they're constantly out for lunches, out for dinner.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I went through the idea with her when we were talking about it 6 months ago, and it was just an idea, she went, all part of these PA networks use it because you can just be like, okay, I need this place Thursday at 5. Ping it out, done. So it saves that time as well, rather than So yeah, it appeals to people because people have been in that situation. So it doesn't take a lot of time to go, well, I'd use that, or my friend would use that, or it could use this. So that's what I think has helped. It's not something that people aren't a part of.
No. Are you going to do like I forget which startup it was that grew exponentially through the refer a friend? Maybe it was Airbnb or eBay or something like that. But it's the kind of thing people are going to want to share.
Yeah.
Right, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we need to latch on to that. So you get rewarded. You don't do like discount codes and coupons because that's done and dusted. And
never use a coupon word. It's terrible.
Well, you get it through, exactly right. You get it through your emails, and you're like, oh yeah. I mean, I've got like 44,000 unread trash emails. Yeah. So we all do. So we want to latch on to like making it more, because this app is like the virality of it. It's an app where if you use it with a group of friends and they go, well, how have you done that? It then spreads quite quickly. So, if you use the app 5 times in a month, for example, and you show up to the venues, you'll get potentially £100 spend at one of our venues. So it's all circulated. 10 visits or 10 in a month, you'll go to £250 spend. If you see, so we can see the people that are like top amblers, so people that go out maybe 3-4 times a week. Yeah. Because you can use the app for dinner, drink, and a drink, right? So you don't have to just book, but you can be like, I need this now, and it just lets you continue your night. So with the people that, do sort of 15 or 20 in a month, we'll be doing exclusive Ambl events, drinks, mixers, hiring at nightclubs, all just for that, just to create that community.
Can they pool so let's say you've got 5 friends. Yeah. And they all start booking stuff. And they all go, you know what, I've got 100, I've got 100, I've got 100. We could actually go out for a night together for free. I can't see how you do that. Could you do that?
Well, you've got a QR code, pass it to a friend, that can count as a,
You might have all sorts of people. You might have Gosh, my mind's racing now. I'm not going to go into this. Otherwise, it's
It does get you going.
It does get you going.
It does get you going. Yeah, we do. It does get you going because that's the point. Is there's so much you can do with it, and there's so many ideas that come around. And even with the venues, when I was going out speaking to them, and again, this is sort of credit to Hyper. I'd be, venue would be like, oh, it'd be really good if you could have this on there, this analytics.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, yeah, you're right. So 9:30, 10 o'clock, walking to the next place, on the phone to developers, can you add this on? Yep, no problem, no problem. So it's been like constantly having feedback and
it will do when people use it as well, right? You're going to get heaps of feedback from the people who use it.
Yeah.
I usually ask a question around now about what was the most difficult thing, because you've probably already been through that, right? So I'm going to ask you a different question, which is going to be even more difficult for you to answer. What was the easiest thing about this?
Making the decision to leave my job.
And that was supposed to be a hard question. You answered that like super quick.
Yeah. Do you want me to try again? It was.
To leave your, as in to leave your full-time job?
Yeah, because I joined that company.
That's a big decision for a lot of people.
It was a very good job, like an extremely good job, and I'm getting married this year, so
perfect.
Needed the money to pay for it, right?
You can amble the reception.
Yeah, the after party. We
don't know where it is yet. We're just going to find out in a minute. Hold on.
Do you know what I mean? Well, that's the next stage. Booking weddings on Ambl, right? So because I had a lot of respect for the company and my managers, I didn't want to. It was getting to a stage where,
expecting it.
Yeah, I wasn't being able to do both because was raising money and having conversations that needed me to be elsewhere.
Did they know you were doing it?
I had to declare that I had a business, but that was
about it.
4 months before I then left.
Right.
So I had to declare my business and then turn around to my manager and said, look, I've got to go. Why? Well, this business that I declared that you have to declare in the big business, so you have to declare you start a business. And he was so good about it and so supportive of it that I knew he would be like that. And it was a tough job. Like it's all, it's all bonuses and, bringing the money. So it was affecting that. And I thought, if I'm going to give this the shot it deserves, and the amount of work that I did. So originally I was going to leave at the end of this year.
Yeah.
When I started the idea, when we started the idea, thinking, okay, we'll get married and just see how it goes. But because of how quickly it grew and what we needed, obviously that fast forwarded a year. So I just wanted to do them. I didn't want to leave on bad terms. I didn't want to upset them. I didn't want to, just leave a bad taste in their mouth. So I just said, look, this is where I am. If I can go now, I'd appreciate it. And they let me go and cover my notice and wish me away, and still talk to them, and they're happy, because did it in the right way. But that was the easiest decision because it had to be done.
Did you all do it at the same time, all three co-founders?
One left pretty much like a month before.
Yeah.
And because of that work that he did, going from 5-6 venues in a night to like 25. Because he's going in the day and going, guys.
Probably get a better response.
Well, because you're going at a time that you can talk to them. So we decided to do it. So I left two of us left a well-paid job, and the other co-founder left a business that he was running, which was successful. He had a tech recruitment business for 7 years, and he's passed it over, but he was like, all right, we're doing this.
So you're all in?
We're all in for 3 years. Yeah. Well, there's 11 of us now, staff.
Yeah, which is a lot.
It's mental.
That is mental.
It is really, yeah.
It's been, 8 months?
Yeah.
That's fast. That's super fast.
And now we're here.
Now
we'll give it a nudge.
Yeah, now you get...
Yeah, made it.
I like it. I don't think it's ever segued like that before. That was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me, you've got 11 people. Here's a great question, right? This is when this comes out, you'll probably have more. But if someone's thinking and interested in working with you guys, tell me, why would they want to... What is it about Ambl that would make someone want to come and work there? In your mind. So not the standard thing, in your mind.
It's a company that the guys that are running it. So we've got a chairman who's a seasoned serial entrepreneur who lets us run it and just steers it in the right direction. So we've got that grounded foundation. Yeah. There's 3 guys that are passionate about doing something that are all friends and close, and it works when we're all secure on the roles that we're doing.
Right.
But the business itself, there's so many parts to it that we're only trying to get like the best people in there. But because the business is so relatable to everyone, they've got so many ideas and so much interest to do it. So you're not just coming in to sort of crunch numbers or, for a job just because it's a job.
Yeah.
Because you use the app, you'd be like, I can do this and I can do that. So everyone's got sort of their 2 pence in, which is making it making it work. So, we're growing quickly. Marketing and tech is the big thing, but it's that, being innovative. It's the getting your hands dirty at this stage is exciting. It's the best. It's the most exciting time for any business.
It is, and there's so many angles and offshoots, and when you start, like I said, I'm still racing around in the back of my head. There's so many things you could do. Obviously, you haven't launched it yet, so you got to focus on that. But there are so many options for the future in terms
100%.
of, it's totally scalable anywhere in the world, but it's also got so many other things that could be added onto it. You could forever be adding to this.
100%. And the thing is there's, I can hear your mind racing, and it does, and it happens. We're going to have conversations with people, but the goal right now is to get the best people behind it, which I'm doing. There's people that have now from industry.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people join from me going to pitch them, just to bring on their venue, and them going, what you're doing is what's needed. Can I come and join you? So we didn't have a business plan to hire this person. The role's been created because of that person approaching us. So that's also been like a massive part of the business. It's not said, okay, we've got a budget for 3 sales guys. We've got sales guys, but this guy can come in who's got 20,000 connections that listen to him, and there's influence there, or somebody that's built customer services teams that wants to or top sales guys that can take us globally now coming to us. So we get them in, and all we really care about.
That's massive validation.
It's amazing.
Like that, who knows the industry inside out, so they know all the nuances, the problems. For them to actually just approach you and say, "I want to be involved." I mean, it doesn't get much more. That's probably the top level of validation.
No, I mean, one of them started Monday. One of them I'm still talking to. We offered someone yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're growing the team quickly, but we've got the funds to do it, and it's just about going right. So, and what I didn't realise is, okay, you get money and your plan is to spend it on this, this, and this. The amount of changes and opportunities that arise in that meantime, you can't foresee it. So, my role now is I don't really speak to venues. We've got a team that do that now. I do speak to my close ones that I started with, but I'm just constantly raising. I'm constantly going out. I'm constantly raising, selling it to people, showing them. Media now, and all this. So
when this comes out, I mean, the door, they'll be knocking. Once you've been on, give it a nudge.
Yeah.
It won't stop.
Well, I've seen like I've seen a lot of the stuff you've done, and it's great. So yeah, it's a nice one to be on. I was looking forward to speaking to you today for sure.
I love consumer products for me personally.
Yeah.
I've invested in a few startups, always consumers for me. I think everyone's sick of fintech SaaS companies, right? I've had too many of them in our lives. But I just think there's so many opportunities to change the way we live, and I think COVID to some degree has opened everyone's mind into changing the way they live far more than they would have. People are less likely to go, well, that's not going to work. I don't know, I think people are more open-minded.
I think a lot of people were busy in their bedrooms over COVID, coming up with ideas, and the world did change. And it's there is a lot of things out there if you look.
And look, I think
to support with things.
This is perfect. I mean, obviously, I've been in London 5 days, and it's hectic. Coming from Australia, I've forgotten how many people there are, but even in Australia now, I've noticed the same thing. There's a lot of people want to go out. Like venues are booked out. You cannot get into places anytime, any day. I tried to get into lunch on Monday with some friends. My poor concierge, he looked so stressed at the end of it. I was like, no, don't want to go there. I want to go there, and I can't get in there. Can't get in there. It's
a nightmare.
It's just unbelievable. And I think it took him an hour to get us into somewhere.
And it shouldn't.
And I didn't want to go there either, but options.
After an hour, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a perfect example.
There's a perfect example.
In what month are we in? We're in April. There's nothing special going on.
Yeah, nothing going on, and it's a Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Crazy.
You should not be able to, it should be easy to do that. You should be able to see. Yeah.
I think it was a good choice in the name. I think you should like it more.
Well, I was adamant that Spontable would never change, and as soon as this branding agency came out with Ambl and what it meant and what it stood for, it goes from a product to a brand, and that's your defence, right?
There's a big difference.
Huge, and my naivety to that was, we just want a nice name and a logo. It's completely.
At least it's a real word. I hate these ones that are made up words.
Yeah.
I just can't deal with that.
But it didn't, it's not. Yeah.
I'm dyslexic as well, so it really freaks me out, right?
I didn't want something too clever. I just wanted something that's simple, 4 letters that made sense. And as soon as you used it or heard about it, you just know what that problem solves.
Yeah.
And then it starts to spread. No one gets the name wrong.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Mate, thank you so much for coming on.
Really enjoyed it.
It's a really cool story.
Thank you.
And it sounds like it's rocket ship speed it's going to be going at.
Yeah, yeah.
So I might not be back for a year, and we might have to get back together and find out what's going on.
Oh, I'd love
next
to.
year.
Love to.
And we'll finally have taken the rest of those covers off of Big Ben by then.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for coming on, and mate, good luck with it all.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Cheers.